And the Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Gonsalves, offered an exclusive interview to our multi-platform TeleSUR and discussed issues of regional importance for Latin America and the Caribbean. Let's listen.
Hello, studios. We continue our tour of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. And in this case, in Kingstown, we are very honored to be joined by Prime Minister Gonsalves at this moment. Thank you so much, Prime Minister, for joining us here in TeleSUR.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we are here for a very special occasion. Venezuela is celebrating its declaration of independence on July 5th. And St. Vincent and the Grenadines has always been in favor of boosting those ties of solidarity, of integration in the region, even at a moment in time in which major powers are doing a lot of things against those ties of solidarity. Why is it important to continue those efforts?
The great Africanist leader from Jamaica, the Right Excellent Marcus Mosiah Garvey, National Hero of Jamaica, remarked in the early 20th century at the time of the Universal Negro Improvement Association, the largest organization of persons of African descent in the diaspora ever. He said, in a very summary way, if you want to go fast, you go alone. If you want to go far, you go together. But when you go far together, you end up going faster than if you go alone. It's a philosophical proposition which is manifested over the centuries. We are in a society, the atomized individual, the apotheosis of the atomized individual, the highest point of the atomized individual is the American Howard Hughes, who ended up as a pathetic figure. Whereas the solidarity of Chateaubriand, of Bolivar, of Marty, of Fidel, of Chavez, that is what brings true benefits to a community. An individual alone can't build a house. An individual alone may be able to print, may be able to paint something, but for it to reach a wide audience, it needs a number of persons to help disseminate it, and so on.
Effort.
Absolutely. So you ask me, that's why we are in CARICOM. That's why we are in the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States. That's why we are in the ALBA, different circles of regional integration. That's why we are in CELAC, the Community of States of Latin America and the Caribbean, which is a wider hemispheric regional entity. And we are in all of these bodies, and they all have points of relevance and contact with each other. Alone, we're not going to go far. We have to work together. And the important thing about any integration is that that integration must be organic, not mechanistic. Organic in the sense that the strengths and weaknesses of each unit, of each territory, those strengths and weaknesses are dissolved into the whole, so that the whole ends up being more than a summation of the individual parts. And then we must ensure that the various parts are not unequally yoked, so that every single entity at the end of the day profits. Not profit in narrow monetary terms, but that value is added to them and their people and their lives as a consequence of that integration. That's what it is about.
Prime Minister, you were mentioning Martí and Fidel, and we are visiting here from Havana, actually. And one of those attempts against integration has been the targeting of Cuban medical missions during the past months. What is your perspective on the topic at this moment after a few months were passed from the last statement from the U.S.?
Well, we in the Caribbean, and particularly St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we have answered with dignity and with openness and with honesty to our American friends. that they've got it wrong. And they had a view of the Cuban Medical Brigade and those in education and those in infrastructure, the engineers, the land surveyors and the like, that they got it completely wrong. This is not an exploitative system. We have a sophisticated structure of modern labor laws, and we are signatories to a range of international conventions. So to Cuba, and we abide by them. There's no exploitation taking place here. There's no human trafficking. If you go wrong and you talk to the Vincentian people, and you talk to the Cubans themselves, I don't have to go through the details here. I give you what is the summary conclusion. And I think that the Americans are satisfied with what we are doing and what we have said. And I've been an open book on it. Now, it is true that there's a jaundiced view in some of the taverns in South Florida. But if ever there was any arrangement which they talk about, if ever that existed, it has never existed since I came to office 25 years ago. Maybe some other time before that, which I don't know about. I can only speak for the last quarter century. Since I've been Prime Minister and since we have been working with Cuba, with this remarkable act of solidarity through nurses, doctors, engineers, and the like.
Now, Prime Minister, last question. What brings us here is Vincent, and we are trying to capture the spirit of the carnival and take it and share it with the rest of the region and the South American continent as well.
It's magnificent music.
Exactly. So
and songs of all type, calypsos and soca, and steel band and mass. It's unique. There's a generalized carnival throughout the whole of Latin America and the Caribbean, but we have our unique flavor, and I hope you get to take in some of it. And you will see as we go about, people interacting with love. This is a land and an era of peace. And that's why I support very strongly President Maduro's quest to have a campaign for peace and against war. And that's why St. Vincent and the Grenadines, we became the locale of the Argyle Declaration, which brought Guyana and Venezuela together, along with other CARICOM countries and Brazil and so forth, so that whatever dispute and challenges they may have, we settle them peacefully. Right now, I am coming to the 214th anniversary of the founding of the Republic of Venezuela. I'm coming from the Southern Grenadines, where I just had a farewell lunch with 40 members of the Guyana Defense Force who came here to help us over the last 3 months to rebuild homes. Venezuela has helped in innumerable ways. I've just come from an event involving Guyanese. My brothers and sisters there. I'm here now with my Venezuelan brothers and sisters. We are one. Whatever difficulties we have, we sort them out in peace, not in war. In solidarity.
Thank you so much, Prime Minister, for joining us. It's been our pleasure.
Thank you very much.
That was, of course, Prime Minister Ralph Gonsalves here in TeleSUR. And this is just another bit of what is happening here in Kingston. We go now back to studios and we will continue with more.